So guys, it looks like this flip might not turn out as good as I thought. This might be the first car throughout the series that isn't going to make the profit that I really thought that it would. But having that said, the realistic thing is that this happens. It's a part of the car business. There's a right way and a wrong way of what you should do when you have a car flip that doesn't go as well as you expected. And this video is going to explain those exact points. Make sure you stick to the whole video. You don't want to miss it. What's up guys, my name is Jamal from Flipping University. In this channel I help people that might not have too much mechanical experience go from amateur to expert flipping cars so that they can build a life of freedom, doing whatever they want, whenever they want. And I'm just going to get right to it. The realistic thing when you're flipping cars is that it's not going to always go exactly as you planned. Most car flips, yes, you should be making money on. It should not be a downward spiral where you're just losing money off of basically every car. But even the best people that are flipping cars and the best car dealers out there lose money or break even on some of the cars that they have. The realistic thing is that if there's someone else that you're seeing that's talking about flipping cars and they haven't showed you this, they're kind of just hiding it from you. It does actually happen, they're just not showing you. And before we get into everything, I just want to say when this does happen to you, because again, it will. It's not about if it will, it's just when it will. The first point is you cannot just beat yourself over it. It happens, okay? It's not like you're some bad business person or some fool just because it happened to you as well. In my channel, I teach a lot of ways that you can reduce this happening as much as possible. And even when it does happen, it won't be a thing where you're losing thousands. If you're actually listening to all my tips, you should just be either breaking even or just possibly losing like $100 or so. But let me just go through a couple of practical tips that you could follow before we get into my situation here. The first thing and the big point of it all is when you get a car, you have to make sure that you're handling the mechanical problems and seeing exactly what's wrong with it mechanically before you start just dishing out money and dishing out things to try to fix the car up. And on that point, if you don't know much about cars yourself, it's okay to take it to another mechanic. Even if you have to pay them $50 or $100 just to check it out to see exactly what's going on, it's better than just taking hours and then taking money to just keep dumping into the car and then wasting it all when it comes time to selling it. But the main point of just seeing the full story of exactly what's going on with it mechanically is just because you don't want the opposite to happen, where you dump in a lot of money, you dump in a lot of time as well fixing the car up, and then at the end you're over invested and you end up still breaking even or losing money off the car when it comes time to sell it. And that brings me on to the next point, which is if you see that you are going to be breaking even on the car and you see that it is a bad purchase, you want to just try to move that car as quickly as possible. The worst case scenario and the worst thing that you could do is that you put in money and time trying to fix up the car to make it good for sale, and then a mistake that a lot of people make is that they try to go over justifying the price of the car, and then the car just ends up sitting there for a while and nobody buys it. In that case, it would be a lot better to just get your money back off the car, even if you made no profit off of it, and then just roll that back into the next car and keeping the profit running, rather than the car possibly sitting there for a month or two. Now, I just wanted to get to those points before anything else, just because there's actually been people that have been getting into flipping cars themselves that's been asking me this exact thing. They've made these mistakes. So I just wanted to put that out there before anything else. Now we're going to get into my situation and how we're going to handle this flip. If you didn't see before, this is the car that I was flipping with the last part of the series. It's an 04 Toyota Camry. It has about 210,000 miles on it. And there was really one problem that I saw that came up actually after even getting the car. I couldn't really test out the car that much at the auction. And even when I did test it out, everything was running fine. It was looking fine. Everything was all good. It wasn't until after I got it home where I ended up finding out that it was a cutoff in power when it got to a certain RPM, and it sounded like there was a big vacuum leak that was coming out because there was a hissing noise. But after some further research and looking into it a little bit more, I ended up taking it to a mechanic just because I wanted to do that exact thing. I wanted to find out the exact story of the car before I started dumping in money and dumping in parts to try to fix everything up. And I ended up finding out that it was a clogged cat, so it probably needs a new catalytic converter. But rather than trying to go fixing it up myself and then still eventually breaking even off of the car or possibly even losing money off of it, what I'm going to do is just sell it completely as it is at the price that I got it for, which was $1,600. I still should be able to break even and get my money back off the car. And then I'm just going to keep rolling that into the next car. But before anything else, I am still going to clean it up. As you can see, it looks really filthy inside. And the realistic thing is that someone that's going to buy this car, yes, they're most likely going to be a little mechanically inclined to be able to fix the problems that it has. But realistically, people still buy with their eyes. So you want to still make that it's something that they could see themselves in. And they're not going to be disgusted the moment that they jump into the car. So what we're going to do next is just bring this to the car wash, clean it up, and get ready to detail it. Okay, so I ended up having to wait a day. It ended up raining the moment after I filmed the last part of the video. So there's a better day. We're gonna go to the car wash now to get everything cleaned up. And on a quick note as well, I apologize to the people that's been waiting for this video to go out and just continuing the series as well. I'm actually gonna be getting married within a couple of months. So I've been pretty busy just preparing everything with that. Got a lot going on with it. But at the same time, I still wanna keep up some good content for you guys to help you guys out, especially for the people that wanna start getting into it when the summer comes and schedule frees up a little bit. So I apologize, I'm still gonna be doing my best to keep up with everything. But let's get over to the car wash. Now I'm here at the car wash. For the people that haven't watched the series before, usually what I would recommend doing if you don't have your own spot where you could wash cars at your own house, you could try to get an unlimited car wash and then get a membership with them. Hopefully kind of work out something with the guys there where not only can you bring one car, but you can bring a couple. And that's what I'm doing right here. And now we're just going to vacuum everything out, make sure we just suck up all the loose dirt and all those things, and then we'll take it home and get to the rest of the detailing. And now we're back in my spot. The car is looking a lot cleaner, as you could see here. But of course, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but everything is still looking pretty dusty inside and the carpets are still filthy. So we're gonna get to that now. So we're gonna get to the dashboard and all that stuff first. I'm gonna be using this to just clean everything up first and then going over it with a protectant after. I will say I'm probably gonna be going over to using some other products pretty soon. I love Meguiar's, they have really good quality stuff, but the fact is that if you're doing a lot of cars, you can go through the products really quickly, and even if it's only like $7 or so per product, it starts to add up over time pretty quickly. So it'd be better to get something that's more in bulk and still has that same quality. But for now, let's just spray everything down. Except for the center console, of course, there we're going to be spraying directly into the brush so that we don't mess up any electronics. And then brushing it all up, getting into the vents, and then following it up with a microfiber towel after. Then after that, we're going to go behind it with the Supreme Shine High Gloss Protectant to not only protect it, but also to give it a nice glow when people come to see it. With this one, you don't really have to do too much with it. You could just spray it all on. Usually I wouldn't really brush this in as well. I just come behind it with the microfiber towel and then wipe it off. And this is how it's looking after. Definitely has a nice glow to it. I don't know if you guys can pick that up on the camera, but it's looking better. Now for cleaning up these filthy carpets. First, what we're going to be doing is using this P&S carpet bomber. By the way, this is the company I'm probably going to be switching most of my detailing products with, just because this is like professional grade equipment. And again, like I said, they actually sell bulk products where you can get a lot more for your money and stretch it out over time. But so far, I've been loving this stuff. I'll put links in the description, by the way, in case you want to get this yourself as well. But we're just going to spray it along everything here. Then we're going to use the drill with the brush attachment to really brush in there and loosen up the follicles. Now, as you can see, it's definitely looking a lot better now than it was before, especially right there. Before, it was looking disgusting on the side. But if it's still where there's certain spots, as you can see, like on the left spot right there, that'll still look a little dirty, then you can come behind it with the extractor vacuum and just suck it all up. So we have our vacuum here. All it has is just some soapy water in the back of it. But let's get this thing going. And this is how it's looking after. Of course, we have a mat to throw over this spot right here, so that's gonna look a lot better than it is. And then if you do have some stickers like this and you got it from the auction, of course you should be taking this off before you sell it, just to make it look a little better. So we're just gonna peel it from the top and get it all off. And then you could just wipe it off after. And now the car is all done. Definitely looking a lot better. Now I will say the other problem that it technically had was also a bit of a paint issue in the back. As you can see, the paint is faded off and it's kind of peeling. But to be honest, with the person that's buying this car, it's basically going to be like a fixer-upper. They're not really going to care that much about stuff like that, especially for how cheap of a price point it's going for. But at the same time, there was someone in the comments that was saying that they wanted to see something about patching up the paint. So I'm probably just gonna make a whole nother video specifically on patching up paint work like this. Not a whole paint job, but just specific patch ups just to make the car look a little better. But now I'm just gonna run up the block, take some pictures of it, and see what I can go for. Again, I'm expecting to basically just break even off the car. Even if I have to take like $1,500 for it, it is what it is, just to keep the series moving. Now, I will say one thing, and one good news about when you're doing it this way, getting cheaper cars rather than having all your money for flipping cars in one car, it's that if something like this comes up, you can still make money from another car rather than just having it all into that one car that didn't do so well. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but it's also less risk. But we still do have extra money to put into another car to keep the series going while this one is getting ready to sell. So in the next video, we're going to be covering going back into the auction, getting a second car, which we're going to make sure is going to make us some good profit to keep the series rolling. And if you didn't see it before, last week I had a whole live stream going for people showing how you can get into dealer auctions without having your own dealership, because as you can see, I've been doing everything on the street. It's not a dealership that I'm working from. If you want access to that, just go to the link in the description below. I recorded the whole thing for you guys. All you have to do is just type in your email and you get the training sent to you. But that's it, guys. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to be alerted when the next part of the series goes out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.